Phoenix Rising community, it's your boy Ken Ward yet again, back with another amazing entrepreneur, business owner. We like the word business owner um, from out of the New England. We've been all over the country on Phoenix Rising Spotlight on business. We've been to Florida. We've been to Chicago. We got some shows coming up in Houston. And this is the thing, we want you to know that there are business owners all over this country. We're building the business class. It's got to happen. And we're giving you the people and the inspiration to do it. Again, this is Phoenix Spotlight on Business. And what we are doing here is informing, educating and inspiring. And I know y'all, and I always do that, and they're like, well, which words come from? It don't matter which words. Whatever word is most important for you, that's the one that comes first. So when you write this down, write the most important. But it's 3 words, 3 tenets. But we want to make sure that you have all the information and that you can step over that fear and get into business. Ramon Peralta is with us today. He's going to wow us with all the things that he's done in his life and what he's doing in business. He's going to do 2 things. He's going to give you a reason, 1, to do business with him. And then he's going to give you reason 2, why you should be out there and making that idea that you have come true. And without further ado, I'm going to give you, we're going to ignore that Barkley jersey. We're going to give you Ramon. Go ahead, baby. Do your thing.
Thank you, Ken. Thanks for having me on your show.
So Ramon, we always start with this. I tell people all the time, my brother was collected comic books. Everybody has their favorite superhero. And I believe that business owners, have discovered their superpower, and that's what makes them superheroes. But they're regular people who've discovered their superpower. So I always ask when I start the interview, tell us your origin story.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a big comic book fan, so I love that analogy. In fact, Spider-Man was my favorite superhero, and he used to say, with great power comes great responsibility. And I would like to say that with great favor comes great responsibility. And that's kind of my mantra. And at Peralta Design, my company, we launch brands. We've been at it about 13 years. We're a full service digital creative agency. We're headquartered in Connecticut. We provide branding, web development, video marketing, digital marketing services. And we particularly love servicing entrepreneurs and people that are trying to launch something new. We develop strategic MVPs, which are minimum viable products. Oftentimes, our customers or our clients or people in general that want to launch have these grand visions to the point where they don't know how to start. And we like to figure out what's the fastest, simplest way to start so that you can scale. And so in a nutshell, that's what we do at Peralta Design. And my origin story goes back to the Dominican Republic, where my parents immigrated from. I was born in New York City. My parents both worked in factories. My dad moved to Providence, for looking for those jobs, that were promised. Rhode Island used to be the junk jewelry capital of the world. And my mom actually retired from Herff Jones, the collegiate ring company. But growing up, I was the oldest of 5. Oftentimes was babysitting my siblings, and so I was responsible at an early age. But I watched my dad kind of get bored with factories and then start fixing cars in the yard. Ultimately, he opened up his own auto repair, and I used to work there. When you're from a Latino family, the oldest son, you don't have a choice but to go work. As soon as you're able to hold a tool, you're working. But I learned the value of $1 working with my dad. But I also discovered early on that I had a gift. I had a gift for drawing. I had a passion for design, and a lot of that came from the comic books. I think at one point I wanted to draw comic books for a living. So I always kind of pursued that. I knew that worst case scenario, I could fix cars. I was doing brake jobs and I was driving a tow truck at 16, but I also knew that if my parents had sacrificed, they expected more out of me. Not that wasn't honorable, but they expected me to go further, and that took me onto a career in art school where I went to went to Bridgeport, pledged Alpha, met my wife. And I continue to pursue this career in art, and becoming a young dad while I was actually still in college forced me to really grind on the business side of things and not pursue a art career per se as a painter or an artist in that traditional sense. I got more into graphic design and advertising and marketing because that's where the jobs were, frankly.
Right.
And I pursued a career in direct mail marketing. I worked at a newspaper for a while. Ultimately, I landed at a place that was the incubator behind Priceline. So many of you out there have heard of Priceline.com. So I was on the team that helped start Priceline. I was serving as a senior art director, working alongside Jay Walker, who was the inventor of Priceline. I worked with Jay Walker for about 10 years, launching companies and taking ideas. Basically, he had patents. He had 400 patents, and we were trying to turn them into businesses. Mm-hmm. How did I start my company? If I were to say to you, yeah, I just decided one day I was going to start my business, I'd be lying to you. The truth is, I lost my job. I got laid off. I was chasing this dream of a big windfall, of being part of a startup that was going to be super successful. And in 2008, the market crashed, and everyone in our company got laid off. Walker Digital, which is where I was working at, they shifted gears, and instead of innovating, they went out and tried to, raise funds by going after people that were infringing on their patents. For those of you out there that have ideas, it's very important to protect them. Mm-hmm. If somebody infringes on them, you have recourse. And so, right. That was one of those moments where I was pushed out of the nest. They say birds don't learn to fly in the nest. They get pushed out. And it was one of those moments in my life where it felt like the worst thing that had happened to me. And in hindsight, it was actually one of the best things that happened to me, because in 2008, those that remember, you could not find a job anywhere. I tried very hard to get employment, and I was forced to take my severance package. I was fortunate and blessed to get one. That became the seed money for what today is Peralta Design, and I literally started it in the basement of my home.
Okay. Well, let's go back because we always go back. So, all right. So let me make sure I understand it. So Walker laid everybody off. Yep. You weren't looking for a job, right?
I was trying to find a job right after I got laid off, because I'd always had my business on the side. I think many of us get used to having the security of a steady paycheck, and then we may have a side hustle. And so Peralta Design was like a side hustle for me. And at this point, I had to make a decision. I had to do some soul searching.
Right. So that's what we want to focus on. That's what we focus on. That's actually the spotlight is what happened inside of that soul searching, because and the reason why I want to focus on that is because I think that's the determining factor. Like, I'm always trying to pull out the determining factor. Like, you could have kept looking for a job. You had this severance pay. So, if you're regular, like, you could have look, okay, the severance pay will last me 3 more months, so I can go look for a job for 3 more months. But something in you said, wait a minute, I can do something else.
Yeah, I'll tell you exactly what happened. So one of the clients that was referred to me came from my old job. So the law firm that Walker was using became one of my earliest clients, and they were based out of Dallas. And they had an opportunity for me to do a rebrand. They wanted to change their logo and so forth. And so they hired me to do that. And I think I was billing them at, $150 an hour or something like that. It was an agency rate, even though my agency consisted of me sitting in my home office with my dog on my lap, in my pajamas, right? And
and this is before COVID.
yeah, this is before COVID, right? And so what happened was that gentleman, after a few months of working with him, said he was going to come up from Dallas and he was going to go to Stamford, Connecticut, and he was going to visit Jay, and that he wanted to come up to where I was. I was in Shelton, Connecticut. And at that point, I realized, okay, this guy has high expectations of me, and I'm not going to just meet him at home, and I'm not going to meet him at a Starbucks. And so I had prior experience at one of those pre-furnished offices, those Regis offices that they're all over the country. And
Right.
you basically you share the space. And so I had pitched a project with another firm that had an office there. And so I had some knowledge. And so I said, I'm going to do that. So I went there and I got the smallest package I could get was like $200 a month. For 6 months. I could use an office 5 days out of the month. And I would literally move into the office and move out. And the day that gentleman was coming, I went to the office. I set up my pictures. I set up my desk. I practiced my name with the receptionist. I was prepared to tour him around the place and all this. And the gentleman, it was 5:30 in the afternoon. The gentleman finally called me and said, look, I'm still here at the office. I'm not going to make it up there. I'm going to miss my flight. I'll catch you next time. And now I found myself ready, but locked into a contract for the next 6 months. And that was the turning point, because what I did was that moment of appearing larger motivated me to feel like I could actually build an agency. Because now every time somebody wanted to meet with me, I would say, oh yeah, I'm fully booked all week, but I can meet with you Wednesday. And Wednesday would be the day that I would use the office. And so people would come in.
You would use the office.
People would come in, they would compliment me on the space. I played the role that I was there every day, even though I would spend most of the time at home. And over time, over the course of those 6 months, my business began growing. I started bringing freelancers in. At one point, I started using the conference room, and that's where they get you there, because they were charging me $90 an hour to use their conference room. And
oh, wow.
The little office I had was too small for at this point. I had two other freelancers working with me. My team was growing, and now I started looking for space. And then I realized the universe was starting to do its thing for me, because I was tracking. And when you're tracking and you're moving in the right direction, and what you're doing is preordained, and you're on track with destiny, things happen. And what happened was, a friend of mine had an office downtown and said, hey, look, do you want to share my space? My partner is moving. We can share the conference room, and you can sublease for me for $500 a month. So I went from $200 to $500. And when you're starting out, that's a big deal. Okay. I literally had to say, okay, I'm taking a leap of faith here. I'm going to take a big leap of faith that I can afford $200 to $500. And I went to that. And when I did that, now I had a physical location that I would go to every day. And I put that out on social media, and the laws of attraction started taking place. People would come visit. People wanted to work for me. We came out in the news. We were part of the downtown vibrant community. You need to, and this is for everyone out there. Entrepreneurs are risk takers. Okay. You cannot wait until everything's lined up and you know all the steps that are going to happen. You have to step out on faith, and you have to believe that what you're doing is going to happen. And you have to take that chance, and you have to say, God, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? If you're leading me down this path, what's the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to step out on faith. And that's what I did.
Wow, that's fantastic. I mean, sometimes you guys have an idea and say, I want to talk to all the best entrepreneurs in the world. And they actually will take your calls and say, yeah, I'll interview with you.
And here we are.
You never know until you, but yeah, here we are, right? But I need you to go. I mean, I don't think people like all of it. Like what were you feeling? And I keep asking this question because I need people to get over their fear. Like, I need people to realize that you might not be the strongest, might not be the fastest, but that's not what necessarily matters.
Right.
So what was going, like I said, what was going through your mind? Like you said, you told us, all right, I can't meet with this guy in my home. I'm gonna go ahead and get this. And they said, oh yeah, it's gonna be $200 a month. I'm sure you were thinking, well, where the hell am I gonna get $200 a month from?
Right. Right.
But you did it anyway.
You got to step
right.
out.
So give us the.
I want to say that every single time that I've been afraid, even if it's been hiring somebody on the team, every single time that I've been afraid and I've stepped out on faith, the work has come. Every time my expenses have increased, my revenue has increased. Okay, it's something that happens when you take a leap of faith and entrepreneurs. Okay, one of the things I would say to all of you out there: take a DISC assessment test. Find out the kind of personality that you are. I happen to be a high D and a high I, so I'm very decisive. I want to put fires out. There are other people that you need on your team that are more detail oriented. You need other people on your team that are more conservative. You need a balance. And so as you're scaling and growing, you need to see what kind of people do I have on my team. If you're conservative and your partner's conservative, then you're never going to leave that home office. One of you has to take that risk. And one of the things that I've done is assemble. I've been blessed at assembling the right kind of teams and attracting the right kind of people. And my model has actually benefited with all of this COVID that's happened and the PPP. I decided a very long time ago, I did not want to build a company where I was going to farm the work overseas. And because I identified, and this is something everybody out there can listen and get something out of, no matter what your industry is, find out what the pain point is in that particular industry and attack that pain point. And what I mean by that is in the industry space, in the advertising space, the number one pain point was response time. Okay, so people would come to me and I was noticing a pattern. People would come to me and say, I need to get my website done, but I need it up in 2 weeks. And my last web guy, I don't know where he is. I can't get a hold of him. Okay, I get it. People want to get things done quickly. So one of the things I've realized is in order for me to get things done quickly, I can't rely on independent contractors. Because if I don't want to take the risk of bringing them on full time, then I don't have control of their time.
Right. Okay.
If they're an independent contractor, if I hire you as an independent contractor and I'm paying you $50 an hour, but you all of a sudden get another job that's paying you $100 an hour, where do you think my job is going to fall in the priority order for you? It's going to drop. Or
right.
if I'm relying on contractors independently and one of them goes on vacation, I can't stop him from going on vacation. He's not my employee. And now I have to wait for him to get back. So I realized quickly that if I want to address the number one pain point in advertising, which was response time and meeting deadlines, I needed to have if I wanted to control the time and my resources, I needed to bring them in-house. And by bringing them in-house, it meant I had to put them on payroll. And that was a big leap. People will look at me and say, hey, Ramon, why do you have people on payroll? Why do you have 401k? Why are you matching their 401k? And I said, because even though I'm small, I want to keep my team. I don't want to lose them because it's so hard. For any of the entrepreneurs listening, if you've ever been in a situation where you're trying to assemble a team, you know how hard it is to get the right talent and the right chemistry and the right culture. And when you have that, you have to nurture it and take care of it so that they don't want to leave. Okay. You want to make it a work environment where they build relationships with your clients. They build relationships with each other. They build a relationship with you. That's the kind of company that I wanted to build.
And you're on your way. I mean, you've built it. But so my next question is, where are you going with it? Like, I know you have locations in Connecticut. I know you have locations in Florida. Let's hear the vision.
Yeah, the vision right now is we need to identify the areas where we need to hire more people in. There's growth that's happened over the last year. During this pandemic, I've hired 3 people. Two of them specifically focus on digital marketing, and I see an increase happening in that space. There's more
Hmm.
people because of the fact that we have more people on their phones and on their tablets where the competition to get their attention is greater than ever before. So I see a big increase in that space. I also see growth in the UI and the UX, and we're actually doing a Facebook Live next week about this. And the UI and UX is user experience and user interface design. Because if people are no longer at their machines like we are now, and they're on their phones, then the designs of the interfaces have to change because the screen real estate is so much smaller. So you can't try to
Right.
jam all this information into a little screen because people won't know what to do and they're just going to keep scrolling.
Right.
So video is another area that's growing. So we want to hire basically in the area of content creation because every time we develop a strategy for our clients, the next recommendation is create content. And
Right.
so we're seeing a big need for content creation. So what we do is every year we do a retreat where our whole company goes and we spend a day whiteboarding and mapping out who do we want to hire. And every single person that we've ever hired, they've started out as a block on a whiteboard. And we say, okay, this is a position we want to fill. And it may be a year later, it may be sometimes 2 years later, but it happens. And so that's another thing that I'm big on is speaking things into existence, putting it out, mapping it out, seeing it on a whiteboard, uh, making it tangible. Because I do feel that once you put it out there, the universe conspires to make it happen for you.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I mean, as again, and this is in the point in time where I tell all the people watching us on all the platforms, like, share, notification. You Facebook, IG, share this. I mean, what Ramon just gave you are bricks. If you're a budding entrepreneur, if you start a business, shoot, I'm sitting here. I've been in business for a while, and there's some things you said. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I took notes. Um, so but we have to get this information out there. And I said this on another show, but for real, if you got something from this and you don't share it, that's just selfish. Like it really is. Like share the information. Because again, and Ramon, the universe will pay you back, and I think it's. I tell people all the time, you always have to remember that everything we do, the cup that Ramon has, somebody thought about it before it ever came into existence.
Right.
So so all the social media, but I do have a question because it's funny that you said because this might be my first opportunity to connect Phoenix Rising businesses, but that content crap, I've had 2 interviews in the last 2 weeks about content creating, about one attorney actually down in South Florida. She needs somebody to help her create her content because with being a busy attorney, she some things she wants to do, but she
Doesn't have time.
yeah, she doesn't have time. She's like 15-minute video, took her her whole Sunday one day. I'm like, so yeah, so that, I mean, that's definitely an area. I mean,
Right.
even like even with us, with our IG, man, it's coming along very slowly. So so tell us more about how you service that need of content creating for the various for your various clients.
Yeah. So that's a great segue into what we do. But I just want people to understand that in this climate, the CEO is the CEO is the face of your company, and the CEO is the brand. And one of the things, there's a million books that I recommend. I'm working on one now called How to Launch Your Own Brand, and we're hoping to launch that in the coming year. And I can follow up when that's ready, because I want to give people the blueprint for how I did it and how they can do it. there's another book, The E-Myth, and the challenge there is that a lot of entrepreneurs that don't, they're afraid to scale, or they're afraid to hire, or they don't think they can hire, or that they can afford to hire, so they try to do everything themselves. You may be really, really good at being an attorney. It doesn't mean you're very good at marketing. It doesn't mean
Mhm.
you're very good at accounting. It doesn't mean you're very good at networking. And too many, unfortunately, too many entrepreneurs try to do everything themselves. And so that, hence why they don't have time. And what they've created is they don't have a business. They've created a job, because
Mm.
the minute they go on vacation, they stop making money.
Right.
And they can't market themselves because they're the same persons that are in the courtroom, and then they got to go and do their own invoicing, and so on and so forth. I can create content for myself because I call that working on my business instead of working in my
Right.
business. And
Hmm.
so all entrepreneurs need to get to that level. Until then, I will say that you'd be surprised how much time you have to actually just do things yourself because of the advent of technology. Your smartphone, your iPhones have a great camera built right in. Right now I'm talking to you on my iMac through the camera that was built into it. So we have no excuse anymore, you don't need to go out and buy all this fancy equipment, because authenticity is a key component to building your personal brand. And so as you're creating content, it's totally fine if you're out jogging and you want to record yourself while you're jogging and you want to give some advice to your clients, because maybe part of your brand is that you believe in staying physically active. Or you may talk while you're in the car. Let's say you got a long commute and you're saying, I got no time, but when I'm in my car, that's when I'm going to create my content. Just put your phone and talk while you're driving and you're in traffic. I'm not saying drive distracted, but I'm just saying you'd be surprised if you manage your time. Maybe it's once a week. I put out a video once a week. Over the last year, I've put out over 60 videos. They're only 2 minutes long. Content doesn't have to be very long. It could be a minute. It could be 2 minutes. Put it out there, because you're going to do two things. You're going to reinforce that you're a subject matter expert. Okay, that's very important. You
Right.
want to be on the radar, and you want to be authentically building your personal brand, because not everybody's going to want to work with you. But if they see that you're a mom, or they see that you like golf, or they see that you're working in a soup kitchen on the weekends, that may be the reason they need to pick you as a financial advisor over the 50 other financial advisors that are hitting them up on LinkedIn. You've got to identify something about you that's different. It could be your culture. It could be your accent. It could be that you always have a pocket square. Find something that's unique about you and make sure that that comes across in all of your content. And don't overcomplicate it. Start simple. I tell people this all the time: simple scales. You can just say, look, my goal is just to put one minute video out once a week, and just start there. And like you're doing, Ken, with this show, you understand the concept that if you spend an hour on a Sunday, you can take this, what we call this long form content. You could take this long form content now and chop it up and make 10, 30-second spots for you and your company and your consultancy and your show, and put it out there, and then other people share it. And now you've got a sales team, a virtual sales team out there working for you while you sleep. And that's something that people don't understand, that there needs to be this funnel in place where this long form content, there needs to be a strategy, because otherwise you're saying to yourself, how do I know if any of this is working? Well, you need to
Right.
have an idea that where are you funneling people when you create this long form content is your URL at the end of the video. And if they click that, or if they go to your website, what happens when they get there? Is there a dominant call to action that says request a quote, request a meeting, contact me? Something needs to happen so that when you wake up that Monday morning and you look at your Google Analytics, or you look at your inbox, that you can say, okay, I got 3 new questionnaires that came in this week, and they were a direct result of an interview that I did last week that I posted on Instagram and LinkedIn and Facebook. You've got to start looking at your analytics so that you can see what's working. Otherwise, you've got the shotgun approach, which is what I call that type of marketing, where you're just shooting the shotgun buckshot, hoping something hits. with no real strategy. And unfortunately for many people, that's their strategy. And you can waste a lot of money very quickly and not get any return on that investment.
And again, this is the reason why I love this show and I love our guests, because what Ramon just gave you is probably thousands of dollars of consultancy. And that's why I love the people that we've been fortunate enough to to partner with and come into the spotlight, because if you're a business owner and that information doesn't help you, you weren't listening. You weren't listening. Right. And again, and Ramon, we appreciate it. I mean, we definitely appreciate it. So the other question, and I ask is what's your why? And I always ask this because to get over the fear, to get up every morning and deal with the no's or the challenges of being in business and growing your, like you said, working on your business and not in your business. There's got to be a why. It's got to be something bigger than you. I think you've alluded to it, but I'm gonna ask you directly. What's your why?
My why is I want to see others succeed. I genuinely find it very rewarding to help others, and I'm totally fine with giving away my expertise. I do it all the time if I feel that it can help others. And what that's done for me is it's put me on the radar for so many charitable organizations. I'm on so many different board of directors. And because I've built a business the way I have, I actually have the time to participate and be on those boards of directors for community centers that are helping inner city kids just like me, that are getting free lunches just like I used to get in the summer. Okay, my parents were immigrants. They sacrificed for me. I benefited from so many social programs growing up, whether it was a free lunch or a subsidized lunch or an after school program or a creative arts program or a Pell Grant, what financial aid, what I have not gotten here alone. Okay. And my why is I want to pay that forward. I really, really feel that I've been blessed with so much favor, in so many different, situations that now I need to pay that forward. And so I have a genuine joy in helping others. And if I can do that, I feel like here's the Holy Grail, Ken. If you can do what you love, if you can help others, and you can make money while you're doing it, that to me, that's the trifecta. I really think that and if you're using your gifts while you're doing it, it's a home run. And I really feel like I'm living in my gift and I'm paying it forward. And that inspires me and inspires my team. That's our value system at the company, so that when they come into work, they realize that what they're doing is not just for me, but it's to help others. And if I'm not in the office and they need to make decisions, they can make those decisions as long as they're in the spirit of helping others. And so I encourage everyone out there. There's another good book that I love called The Go-Giver.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. And go-givers sell more, but givers gain. And the simple principle of that book, it's a very quick read, but the simple principle of that book is help others and it comes back to you. And if you're trying to build a personal brand, if you're trying to scale your business, if you're trying to grow your business, giving away your expertise positions you as a subject matter expert. And guess what? You're gonna create this community. You're gonna build a tribe of advocates that are out there. While you're sleeping, they're out there referring business back to you because you've helped them so much. It works, trust me.
So, and this is going to be I need everybody to stay with me because this is going to be an aside, but I think it's going to be a good aside. The thing that I love about the Go-Giver book is that, and it's just funny that you say that because I know that's what planted this idea for me. Because it attacks all of the fears. I mean, when you go through the book and you look at and he's meeting the people, and I don't want to give it away because actually that's probably going to be on the top of the Phoenix Rising Business Spotlight reading list. Like we're gonna put together a reading. Like this is the second time we're gonna put together a reading list, but he actually attacks every fear, and they walk him through it about pretty much the abundance mindset.
Right.
About the abundance mindset and where they're and I gotta give it, like, I love the teacher. Well, they called her the CEO in the book, but I love that right there was like a epiphany. Like, no, you can't no, you can actually teach more people. The more people you serve, it was like, man, when you when I say I love that book, I mean it's crazy. It's like that's fantastic. I mean, now I don't Phoenix Rising. I don't know if you all are getting what I'm getting, but oh my, Ramon, thank you, Ramon. I'm just for being here. Like, thank you. But we're not done. I'm just saying, I just want to thank you right there. So the next question, actually, you like I said, you've done such a great job of communicating, getting it out, but like you knew what my questions were going to be. But one of the things about building that tribe that we're really focused on is that we believe that, like you said, putting out in the universe, like there's something on your whiteboard, like you have something, you're like, okay, I need to get these 3-4 things done, and we don't do enough of it, but we like to do it here. Like, I need you to tell people, like, what do you need help with? Like, what's on your whiteboard that if somebody listening to this has those skill set, they can call you and be like, hey, I saw you on I spotlight on business, and can we meet? Because that's a talent of mine, or I'm in business for that. But give me a couple things that are on your whiteboard right now.
Absolutely. I think in the spirit of content creation, we love strategic partners that are copywriters, that can write content for a specific industry. If they write copy for for finance, or they write copy for manufacturing, there's a certain voice that some of those clients are looking out for. And we're always looking for video editors, animators, motion designers. We do a lot of explainer videos. A lot of the engagement that comes from the modern day website is actually movement and animation and video. And so we're always looking for those kind of folks. And we provide internships, virtual internships for young talent that looks like us. I know myself personally how hard it was to find work. And I often wondered if it was my name on the resume that may have caused it to go in the circular file. So if I have an opportunity to help a young person that may have a unique cultural name, or may feel that they don't fit in, or may feel that they don't know that an agency of color actually exists, of creatives.
Right.
Our team is very, very diverse, and we're very proud of that. If I can offer an opportunity for a young person to, even if it's a virtual internship, to work alongside an art director that looks like them, or a digital marketing strategist that looks like them, or a web developer that looks like them, that would be something that I would love to do. And it's very meaningful for us. There aren't many, believe it or not, there aren't many minority-owned creative agencies out there. We're actually the only one in Connecticut. So,
oh wow,
I know in other parts of the country it may not be the case, but in New England, we're rare. And so, that's something that I would put out there. If people have a young person that's interested in, and we have other resources. We have strategic partners that provide cybersecurity training for young people. All you need to do is be computer literate. We can make connections. So it may not be with us, but it may be us opening our network up to your network and helping each other. But those are some of the areas that we see a lot of growth in. App developers, stateside, there are plenty of app developers in India. We're really, no offense to them, but we want to create jobs here in America. So if there are people listening that provide mobile app development services that want to connect with us and maybe consult for us in that regard, that's another area that is growing. So we love to just expand our network of strategic partners that are out there.
All right, sounds good. And hopefully, this is one of those steps towards doing that. Because again, I mean, like I said, I tell people all the time, the thing about COVID. I'm a date the video because maybe 200 years from now the videos will still be playing. And I'm like, COVID, what was that?
Hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, but the thing about COVID that has allowed you as a business owner, allowed me as a business owner, I'm thinking everybody else is really to take that time that we never had to to analyze our systems and possibly pivot if we needed to, or or possibly double down in the gambling lingo, but possibly double down on what we're doing. So what has it, what has come out of, and again, you're moving through COVID like it's not even there. So what has come out of COVID for your business that you were like, okay, this this gave me time, but I'm gonna come out fat. I'm gonna come out $6 million man, stronger, faster.
Yeah, well, I mean, when COVID first hit, we were looking at each other on a Zoom meeting like this, and everyone had the deer in the headlights look because we didn't know what was going to happen. And fortunately, we have clients that were essential businesses and kept us busy throughout the pandemic. But what we focused on, again, goes back to helping others. So we said, look, we know that there are going to be a lot of people that are displaced. There are a lot of people that are going to be at home with time on their hands. So we launched an online academy where we would post tutorials on a lot of the popular software platforms that are out there, like Canva or Clipscribe or Teamwork, just tools that we use. We said, why don't we just share our knowledge with people that are out there and give it away for free? And so we created a section of our website called Brand New, where you can visit it and you can learn how to use Clipscribe. And Clipscribe is a software that I use weekly that captions all of my videos. So we put ourselves in a position to teach others and help others. We gave away free 30-minute consultations with anyone on our team. That was something that came out of COVID. And because of that, okay, here's what happened, Ken, and this is like how things work. I was asked to be on a panel for a local chamber to talk about reopening safely. So we started a campaign where we gave away face masks with our logo on it, called #ReopenSafely. We felt like we wanted to be the moderate voice of saying we can keep the economy open if we do it safely.
Okay.
What I noticed was a void where it was either the extreme side of this is all fake, and then the other extreme side of we can never leave the house ever again. Right. I was saying to myself, I've got a lease. I've got 2 years left on a lease. I've got employees. Not everybody is set up to work at home, believe it or not. Not everybody wants to work at home, believe it or not. And so I said, there's got to be a way for us to reopen safely. And because of that social media campaign, I was invited on a panel with the local chamber. The local chamber promoted that panel on Twitter. I got a call from NPR Marketplace and said, hey, would you mind doing an interview with us? And I said to them, how did you find out about me? And they said, well, we sat in on a panel discussion and we liked what you said. Okay, that's favor. Okay, so now NPR.
Wow, yeah.
Okay, I come out on NPR Marketplace. Next thing I know, the Today Show contacted me and said, we would like to interview you to be on the Today Show to talk about how you're going to reopen safely. And so I talked about how we were going to have plexiglass in between the desks and temperature scanners and hand sanitizer. And that segment aired, about a month ago on the Today Show. So during a pandemic, I get an opportunity to appear on national TV. Okay, so and that all goes from putting content out. The initial seed was we're going to help others and we're going to put content out to help other people. That fast forward, that landed me an appearance on the Today Show.
Mm-hmm. And appearance on Phoenix Rising Spotlight on business.
I'm just going higher and higher, higher and higher.
Yeah, so it's fantastic, man. I definitely appreciate it. Like I said, I'm not going to say anything about that Barkley jersey over your right shoulder. You know, I understand you grew up in New York, you in New England, so you know. And again, my Eagles ain't doing that great. I mean, anybody that knows me knows I'm a diehard Eagle fan. I don't think there's any way other to be, but you know.
You finally got a Super Bowl, so I'm happy for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. You know what? I appreciate that. So everybody in the division has a Super Bowl. So there's some divisions walking around with their teams that everybody doesn't have a Super Bowl. So I get it. But yeah, so we talk social media, but you got to give them everything. Give them the webpage, give them the phone number to contact you if they want to do business with you. Give them the IG, give them everything.
Yes. So on IG, you can follow me personally at Peralta Design. That's PeraltaDesign. And my company is at Peralta Design HQ. And that'll be more of what's going on inside. And we're so excited. We just landed a big project with Dr. Scholes. So there's some content up there on our social about that. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/Peralta Design. Our website, peraltadesign.com. We also have a podcast that comes out every other Monday, and that's called Mission Control. And so if you look up Mission Control, but control is spelled CTRL, kind of like the key control, Mission Control, that's available on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, and of course on our website, peraltadesign.com/Mission Control. If any of your listeners want to reach me personally, my email is Ramon with no E at the end, RAMON at peraltadesign.com. We do offer a free report card, a free website report card. If you're an entrepreneur, or you're a business owner, and you just want to get a grade, we'll actually give you a letter grade on your website for free. We measure it across several metrics. We measure it on load time, optimization, SEO, design. So that I can offer that for free. If you go to our website, you'll see a button there. It'll say get your free report card. And that's a great value, Ken, for all of your listeners out there.
Oh, well, we thank you. And look, I told you guys, we're about building the business class. So if you hungry and you step over that fear, that's what we're going to start calling. We're going to start to say, step over the fear, because we know it's there. Mm-hmm. And you just got to step over. You just got to step over it and keep it moving. Even if it jumps on your back, as long as you're moving forward, you're moving in the right direction. So, right. Like I said, we are so glad that you joined us. I could talk to you forever, but I know you got other stuff to do, and I like to respect people's time. So what I always ask at the end of all our interviews is, we're building this community. This community is going to be large because we're literally connecting Maine to Florida to Southern California to, I think that's Oregon. No, that's Washington State up there. We're connecting the whole small business community, building business class across the United States. Because again, like you said, that's where the jobs are created. I stay out of the politics because I'm a business guy, but that's where the jobs are created. Is by us building, by those of us who can step over the fear, hiring folks and providing for other people's families.
Absolutely.
So I just want to give you the opportunity to leave the Phoenix Rising community with your inspiration. How would you inspire us?
I would just say, just go out and do it. Just start somewhere. Start small, and remember that simple scales. You might have a big idea. Just think of your minimum viable audience and your minimum viable product, and just start, and then get feedback. I didn't mention this, but I invented a flavored golf tee back in 2006, and I made a critical error with that product because I had an opportunity to attend a show in Florida. There were two shows going on at the same time. One of them was a PGA merchandise show, and the other one was an ASI, Advertising specialty industry show where they sell tchotchkes and frisbees and squeeze balls, promotional products. I insisted that my flavored golf tee was a golf product, and I went to the golf show. But had I listened to my customers, the people that were buying my product, they were looking for free giveaways. They were looking for promotional items. So that was a critical error. I subsequently, me and my partners ended up shutting down the company shortly thereafter. But I always look back at that because I didn't listen to my audience and my customers. I was going on my ego and my own belief and my own passion. And I think that's a mistake many business owners make, is they just listen to themselves. They're not listening to their clients. Get your customer feedback. They'll tell you what they want. They're doing business with you because they like you, but listen to what they need, listen to what they want, and start small. Remember that simple scales. You don't need a big complicated business model. You just need to start, and then you can take it from there and grow. And so I hope that there was something in this show that helped you today to launch your brand. And you can always contact me or Ken, and I'm here to help others and help you launch your brand. So thank you for having me, Ken.
Oh, thank you, Mo. Appreciate it. And if you're not inspired by what Ramon just said, then you're not really listening. And I'm inspired, and I just want everybody to know that's my frat brother. So again, thank you for joining us on Phoenix Rising Business Spotlight. Thank you very much, all. We love the Phoenix Rising community. Now we just have one charge for you all after watching this. Go out and do great things. Go out and discover your superpower and save the world that you were designed to save. Amen. Thank you all, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.